Your hand is trembling slightly as you hold this device. And that heavy, jagged breath you just exhaled was not just air. It was the weight of a decade of being the strong one, finally cracking the foundation of your soul. Stop. Do not scroll. Do not look away. I have reached through the veil of time, past the static of your worries and the noise of your exhaustion, to catch you at this exact second. Because the architect of destiny has just closed the great ledger of your suffering. As I speak, we are standing in the Hall of Records at the edge of all things, a place where the air smells of fresh rain and ancient incense, where the light is a permanent golden sunset that never fades. Behind me, a heavy leather-bound book has just been slammed shut, the sound echoing like thunder across the heavens. That sound is the sound of your debt to the past being canceled. That sound is the end of your wilderness season. You have been operating in a state of spiritual famine for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to be full. But I am here to tell you that the glass ceiling of your fate has been shattered into a million glittering shards of light, and the countdown to your restoration has begun. Precisely 111 seconds ago. You are the pillar, aren't you? The one who everyone leans on when their world is shaking. The one who carries the family's burdens, the friends' dramas, and the workplace's chaos, all while your own heart is screaming for a place to rest. I see the salt of the tears you've wiped away in private so no one would see your brave face falter. I see the exhaustion in your bones that sleep cannot fix. You have been spiritually drained by the energy vampires who sit at your table. Those people who smiled at your face while secretly praying for your fall because your light made them feel small. They didn't want your success. They wanted your service. They took your kindness and gave you their chaos. They took your peace and gave you their problems. But look closely at the shattered hourglass on the floor of this temple. Notice how the sand has stopped flowing. The architect has broken the glass because time is no longer your master. You are not running out of time. You are being stepped out of time and into a new dimension of favor where a day's work will yield a year's harvest. Listen to me carefully, because the second-guessing spirit is whispering in your ear right now, telling you that this is too good to be true, telling you that you've missed your window. That voice is a lie from the saboteurs of your destiny. You haven't missed anything. In fact, that loss you suffered last year, that door that slammed so hard it shook your very soul, that relationship that ended in a cold, silent betrayal, that was not a failure. It was a stealth heist performed by the divine. I saw the fire that was about to break out in that room. I saw the disaster you couldn't see, so I reached down, and I locked that door from the outside to save your life. I didn't reject you. I rescued you. You thought you were being punished, but you were being protected. Every no you received was a yes to a future you aren't yet big enough to imagine. Type 111 right now. Not as a comment, but as a blood bond signature on the new decree heaven has written for you. This is the frequency of the Great Awakening. By typing these digits, you are signaling to the universe that you have recognized the architect, that you are ready to stop being the pillar for everyone else and start being the priest of your own abundance. As your fingers touch the screen, feel the cold chains of financial stagnation and generational lack beginning to dissolve. You have been living under a stolen contract, a life where you worked for the gold, but received the dross. No more. The golden key, the one that has been hidden under the weight of your oldest, most bitter sorrow, is being handed back to you. This key does not open a door back to your past. It opens the vault of your restoration. I am shifting things in your favor, so suddenly it will make your head spin. Before this month reaches its end, your bank account will no longer be a source of anxiety. It will be a tool for your ministry of generosity. The people who mocked your struggle and whispered behind your back will be forced to watch as the divine prepares a table for you in their very presence. They will see the glow on your skin and the peace in your eyes. And they will not understand it, because they didn't see the silent architect working in the dark while you were weeping. You are being moved from the waiting room to the throne room. You will no longer have to beg for crumbs of affection or recognition. You are the child of the Most High, and your inheritance is being released from the Hall of Records this very moment. Do you feel that? A sudden warmth in your chest, a lightness in your shoulders. That is the exhaustion of the strong, leaving your body. You are allowed to be weak in my arms, so that you can be invincible in the world's eyes. I am sending 3 specific miracles to your doorstep within the next 11 days. One will be a financial breakthrough that clears a debt you thought would haunt you forever. The second will be a physical healing, a restoration of the energy and vitality that the energy vampires stole from you. And the third is a secret gift, a God incident so specific to a prayer you whispered 5 years ago that you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I have never once taken my eyes off you. The book is closed. The hourglass is broken. The golden key is in your hand. The enemies who smiled while you suffered are being moved out of your way by a wind they cannot see. You are entering your golden hour, an eternal season of spring where everything you touch will bloom. Do not be afraid of the height you are about to reach. You were born for the summit, not the valley. Type 111 to claim the great restoration. Type it to tell the architect, I am here. I am ready. I am home. Your best days are not behind you. They are currently rushing toward you at the speed of light. Believe it, receive it, and finally, breathe. For the battle is no longer yours. It is finished, and you have won. Unclench your jaw. Let your shoulders drop from the place they've been braced against the world for far too long, and feel the heavy, jagged rhythm of your heartbeat begin to slow into a deep, rhythmic hum. You have been holding your breath for years, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the next crisis to demand your strength. But I am telling you now, you can exhale. The architect has taken the weight of the world off your back and placed it into the furnace of transformation. You are no longer required to be the sacrificial lamb for those who refuse to heal themselves. Look at the screen. See the way the light reflects off the glass. That is the last flicker of the old world you knew. The world of not enough. The world of just barely getting by. The world of being the strong one who receives nothing in return. That world is dissolving into a golden mist as I speak. We are moving deeper into the Hall of Records, past the high arches of forgotten dreams, and through the velvet silence of the great library. The air here is thick with the scent of ozone and ancient cedar, the smell of a storm that has finally passed and a sanctuary that will never be breached. Every step you take in this cinematic space echoes with the sound of chains hitting the floor. Chains you didn't even know you were wearing until the architect cut them loose. You felt it, haven't you? That strange, cold vibration in your solar plexus when you walk into a room. That feeling that the people who say they love you are actually measuring your height for a coffin. They smile. Oh, they smile so perfectly. But their eyes are empty wells of envy. They are the energy vampires, the ones who saw the golden key inside your spirit and tried to convince you it was just a piece of rusted iron. They didn't want your light to shine because it exposed the dark corners of their own stagnation. They fed on your kindness. They drank from your reservoir of hope, and when you were parched, they offered you salt. They are the silent saboteurs of the inner circle, the ones who whispered, "Be careful," when they really meant, "Be small." The ones who prayed for your fall under the guise of concern. But hear me now. The architect has seen every secret eye roll, every whispered doubt, every prayer of malice directed at your throne, and he has revoked their access to your sanctuary. They are being removed from your life seating chart, not because you are cruel, but because you are being promoted, and their frequency can no longer survive in the atmosphere of your new elevation. Do not mourn the people who are leaving. Do not cry over the bridges that are burning behind you. The light from those fires is simply illuminating the path forward. You have been haunted by the second-guessing spirit, that cold, hollow voice that wakes you up at 3:00 a.m. to tell you that you are too late, that you've wasted your best years, that your window of opportunity has slammed shut and locked forever. That voice is not your own. It is the residual echo of the enemies who failed to stop you. It is a ghost trying to convince a living being that it is dead. I want you to look at the shattered hourglass lying at your feet in this golden hallway. The glass is broken. The sand is scattered like diamond dust, because the architect has declared that time is no longer your master. You are not late. You are on time for a destiny that transcends the calendar. You are being stepped out of the linear decay of the world and into the eternal spring of the divine. Everything you thought you lost is being compressed and returned to you with compound interest. Every year the locusts ate. Every month the enemy stole. Every day you spent in the dark. It is all being synthesized into a single, explosive moment of sudden restoration. Type 111 right now. Feel the heat of the numbers as they leave your fingertips. This is not a social media interaction. This is a digital altar. By typing these 3 digits, you are aligning your pulse with the frequency of the Great Awakening. You are telling the universe that you no longer consent to the stolen contract, the lie that says you must suffer to be holy, or that you must be broke to be humble. The architect is tearing up that contract right in front of your eyes, and in its place, he is handing you a document written in light, a decree that says your lineage is blessed. Your bank account is a reservoir of abundance, and your name is a synonym for victory in the courts of heaven. As you type 111, feel the exhaustion of the strong being pulled out of your marrow. You have been the pillar for everyone. Now let the architect be the pillar for you. You are being allowed to be a child again, protected, provided for, and precious. I have a secret to tell you. A secret that will make the hair on your arms stand up. You remember that great loss from last year, the one that made you question your faith, the one that felt like a knife in the dark. I need you to understand that it was not a loss. It was a divine heist. I saw the disaster that was waiting for you behind that door. I saw the betrayal that would have destroyed your soul if you had stayed in that house, in that job, in that marriage. I saw the fire that was about to consume the room. So I reached into your life, and I snatched you away. I slammed the door and locked it from the outside. I let you cry. I let you scream. I let you think I had abandoned you, because I knew that your temporary grief was the price of your eternal safety. I stole you away from a catastrophe you weren't equipped to survive. And now, I am leading you to the room of abundance that I have been preparing while you were healing. Your loss was actually your ransom being paid, and you are finally free. The golden key that was hidden under your oldest sorrow. It is finally turning in the lock. Can you hear it? That deep, metallic click that signifies the end of your struggle. This month, before the moon completes its cycle, you will receive a phone call, a letter, an email. Something tangible, something you can touch with your hands, that will prove everything I am saying is true. A financial breakthrough is coming that will not just pay the bills. It will fund the vision you've been too afraid to speak out loud. The energy vampires will try to come back when they see the glow of your restoration, but you will find that you no longer have a taste for their chaos. You will look at them with compassion, but from a distance, because you are now a resident of the golden hour. You are covered by the blood of the architect, shielded by the wings of the eternal, and the glass ceiling that once capped your potential has become the floor you walk upon. Type 111 to affirm that you are ready to walk through the door I have opened, a door that no man can shut. This is your new beginning, your absolute zero, the moment where the old you dies and the sovereign you is born. Do not look back at the ruins. Do not wonder what if. The architect does not make mistakes. He does not miss deadlines, and he has not forgotten your name. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you haven't entered yet, by people you haven't met yet, who are being commanded to favor you. The shift is not coming. The shift is here. You are the architect's masterpiece, and the exhibition of your glory is about to begin. Breathe in the gold, breathe out the gray, for you are home, and you are finally free. Stay in this stillness for just a moment longer. Do not rush back into the noise of the world that tried to break you, because the atmosphere around you has officially changed. You are no longer breathing the recycled air of your past mistakes or the suffocating dust of other people's expectations. You are breathing the pure, oxygenated grace of the Hall of Records. Look down at your hands. Those hands that have worked so hard to hold everyone else's lives together, while your own felt like it was slipping through your fingers. Notice how they have stopped shaking. Notice the weight of the golden key, resting in your palm. It is warm, to the touch, pulsing with a frequency that matches the very heartbeat of the architect. This key does not just open a door. It unlocks a version of you that has been kept in a divine vault for protection until you were ready to handle the magnitude of the glory that is about to be poured out upon you. The exhaustion of the strong is a heavy garment, and you have worn it like armor for a lifetime. You thought you had to be made of stone so that everyone else could have a foundation. But the architect is whispering to you, "Now, my child, you were never meant to be the foundation. I am the foundation. You were meant to be the temple. Let the armor fall. Let it clatter against the marble floor of this eternal library. You don't have to fight for your survival anymore. You are now being invited into your sovereignty. The energy vampires, who drained your spirit, those who took your yes and turned it into their weapon. They are standing outside the glass walls of this sanctuary, looking in, but they cannot enter. There is a spiritual restraining order written in the blood of the architect that prevents them from touching your new piece. They will watch you flourish from a piece at the end, distance, and their silence will be the greatest apology they ever give you. The second-guessing spirit that once lived in the back of your mind, telling you that you are a fraud, telling you that your luck will eventually run out. It has been evicted. Its voice is being drowned out by the sound of the heavy book being sealed. The record of your shame has been deleted. The record of your struggle has been rewritten as a manual for your victory. Listen to the 3 specific decrees that are being stamped into your reality as you watch this. The first is the decree of financial sovereignty. The architect is not just sending you enough to pay your bills. He is opening a reservoir of wealth that was stolen from your sly's ancestors. A generational inheritance that was blocked by the silent saboteurs is now being redirected to your name. You will find that money begins to move toward you with a magnetic pull, as if it is finally coming home, to the one who knows how to use it for good. The second is the decree of cellular restoration, that deep, bone-weary fatigue that sleep couldn't touch. It is being washed away by a river of light flowing through your nervous system. Your body is remembering how to heal itself. Your mind is clearing of the brain fog that the energy vampires left behind. You will wake up tomorrow morning with a holy clarity that makes you feel 20 years younger. And the third, the most intimate decree, is the secret prayer of the 5-year echo. You thought I forgot what you whispered in the dark half a decade ago. You thought that prayer had expired. But in the Hall of Records, no prayer ever dies. It only matures. That very thing, that specific impossible dream you gave up on, it is being delivered to your doorstep in a form that is better than you originally imagined. Remember the twist of your life's story. The architect wants you to look back at the grief as a gift one last time. That person who walked away, that job that let you go, that opportunity that fell through at the last second. Do not hate the no. Kiss the no. Because it was the sound of the architect's hand slamming the vault shut before the thieves could get in. You weren't rejected. You were hidden. You weren't losing. You were being heisted away from a disaster that would have derailed your destiny forever. The very grief that made you question. My love was the greatest act of my love. You are standing here today because I refused to let you settle for a burning room. I wanted you to have the palace. Engrave the number 111 into the comment section one final time. Do it with the authority of someone who knows their inheritance has been released. This is your final signature on the new decree of abundance. By typing these 3 ones, you are declaring to the spiritual realm, the hourglass is shattered, the old time is dead, the new beginning is here. As you do this, feel the golden key turn in the final lock of your heart. The door is open. The light is pouring in. The golden hour of your life has officially begun, and it will never, ever set. Go now. Walk out of this hall of records and into the world. But do not walk as a victim. Walk as the architect's masterpiece. The world is about to see what happens when the strong one finally gets their turn to be blessed. It is done. It is sealed. It is yours. Welcome to the rest of your life. In the frequency of 111. Amen. Breathe in deeply. Hold that golden air until it reaches the very bottom of your lungs. And as you exhale, feel the last remaining molecules of your old, weary identity leaving your body like a gray mist. You are no longer the person who clicked on this video 10 minutes ago. That person belonged to a timeline of just enough. A timeline where they were the exhausted pillar for everyone else's collapse. A timeline where they were haunted by the second-guessing spirit and drained by the energy vampires who masqueraded as friends. That timeline has been pruned by the architect of destiny. It has been folded up like an old, tattered garment and placed in the archives of things that no longer exist. You are standing now in the very center of the Hall of Records, and for the first time in your life, you are not here to intercede for someone else. You are not here to pray for your children, or your parents, or your struggling friends. For this 1 hour, this golden hour of your existence, you are here for you. Look at the walls around you. These vast, towering shelves of light that stretch into the infinite. Do you see the book that is floating directly in front of your chest? It is bound in a material that looks like liquid gold, and its pages are humming with a soft, melodic frequency. This is the record of the sovereign self. It is the blueprint of who you were always meant to be before the world tried to tell you who you were. The architect is reaching out with a hand made of starlight and is turning the pages for you. And as those pages turn, you can feel the memories of your oldest sorrows being transformed. You remember the great loss from last year, the one that felt like a hot iron pressed against your soul. Watch as the ink on that page begins to shimmer and change. The architect is revealing the hidden layers of that event. You see the room you were in, but now, with architect vision, you see the cracks in the foundation you couldn't see then. You see the electrical fire that was about to spark behind the walls. You see the betrayal that was already being sharpened like a knife in the dark by the people you trusted most. And you see my hand, reaching down through the roof of your life, snatching you out by the collar of your spirit, and slamming that door so hard the locks fused shut. You thought you were being evicted from your joy, but you were being evacuated from your destruction. That loss was a stealth heist. I stole you away from a disaster that would have silenced your voice forever. And now, look at the bottom of that page. Do you see it? Nestled in the gutter of the book, hidden under the weight of that very sorrow, is the golden key. It has been there the whole time, forged in the heat of your tears. Pick it up, feel its weight. This key is the frequency of 111. It is the master key to the glass ceiling that has capped your life for 7 generations. You have felt it, haven't you? That invisible barrier. No matter how hard you worked, no matter how much you prayed, you always hit a ceiling, a limit on how much money you could keep, a limit on how much joy you could sustain, a limit on how much love you could receive without it turning into a burden. That was the Banzhao Kelbi Dengchao, the stolen contract of your lineage. Your ancestors were told they had to be strong to survive, and that strength became a prison of self-sacrifice. But today, the architect is using your hands to take that golden key and thrust it into the heart of that invisible ceiling. Crack. Do you hear that? The sound is like 1,000 chandeliers shattering at once, but the glass is not falling on you to cut you. It is turning into rain. A rain of pure, crystalline abundance. The shattered hourglass on the floor is now being swept away by this tide of new time. You are no longer living in Chronos, the decaying time of the world. You are now living in Kairos, the opportune, divine time of the architect. In this new time, things happen suddenly. Suddenly, the phone rings with an offer that replaces 3 years of lost income. Suddenly, the pain in your back, the physical manifestation of the exhaustion of the strong, simply evaporates, leaving your spine straight and your spirit light. Suddenly, the energy vampires who have been lurking in your circle find they can no longer stand the sight of you. Your light has become too bright for their shadows. They will find excuses to leave. They will stop calling. They will drift away into the fog of the past. And you must let them go. Do not reach out to save them, for you cannot bring the inhabitants of the valley to the summit of the mountain. They are not equipped for the oxygen of your new elevation. Type 111 right now. And as you do, imagine you are pressing your thumbprint into a seal of hot wax on the decree of your own liberation. This is the ritualization of your faith. You are telling the Hall of Records that you accept the grief as a gift revelation. You are telling the architect that you are ready to be the blessed one instead of just the strong one. By typing these numbers, you are triggering a spiritual audit of your life. Every ounce of kindness you gave that was never returned. Every dollar you lent that was never paid back. Every tear you cried for someone who didn't care. It is all being calculated with compound interest. The architect is issuing a reparations order to the universe. The people who took from you will not be the ones to pay you back. The universe will pay you back from the vault of the ancestors. You will receive God incidences that look like luck to the world, but you will know they are the refunds of heaven for the years the locusts ate. As we move toward the final archway of the Hall of Records, I want you to look at the person you are becoming. You are taller. Your eyes are no longer darting around looking for the next fire to put out. Your skin has the golden hour glow of someone who is deeply, profoundly loved. You are walking toward a door that has your name written on it in ancient, glowing script. This is the room of pure abundance and unconditional love that you affirmed earlier. Behind this door, there is no one who needs you to save them. There is only the version of your life where you are the priority, where your health is restored, where true love, a love that gives as much as it takes, is waiting to find you, and where money is no longer a stressor, but a servant that blesses you and your children's children. Are you ready to walk through? The architect is standing by the handle, looking at you with an intimacy that transcends 1,000 lifetimes. He knows every hair on your head, every scar on your heart, and every secret dream you were too embarrassed to tell anyone. He is saying to you, you have fought the good fight. You have carried the weight for so many. Now, let me carry you. The second-guessing spirit is making one last attempt to pull you back. It's whispering, what if this is just a video? What if nothing changes? Look that spirit in the eye and show it the golden key. Show it the shattered hourglass. Show it the 111 you have typed as a testament to your awakening. The past is a closed book. The fire you escaped is behind you, and the palace is in front of you. On the count of 3, we are going to step through this final door together. And when you open your eyes in the real world, you will find that the real world has changed to match the Hall of Records. 1. Feel the exhaustion of the strong, leaving your marrow for the last time. You are a child of the architect, and you are being carried. 2. Feel the golden key turning in the lock of your destiny. The click is final. The glass ceiling is gone. The sky is the only limit. 3. Step through. The light is blinding. It is warm. It is home. Type 111 to lock in this frequency. This is not the end of the video. It is the beginning of your restoration year. Within 11 days, look for the sign. A white bird, a repetitive number, a sudden, unexpected I'm sorry from the past, or a yes from a future you thought was impossible. When it happens, remember the Hall of Records. Remember the scent of rain and incense. Remember that the architect never, ever forgot your name. You are home. You are blessed. You are sovereign. And for the first time in your life, you are truly, deeply, and eternally free. Amen. And so it is. Do not move. Do not even blink. Just exist in this space for a moment longer. For the air you are breathing right now is no longer the heavy, stagnant oxygen of the world below. You have stepped through the final threshold of the Hall of Records, and you are currently standing in the sanctum of the second chance. Look around you. The towering shelves of light have transitioned into walls of pure, cascading water that do not wet your skin, but wash your spirit. The scent of rain and ancient incense has deepened, becoming a fragrance that feels like a memory from a home you haven't visited in 1,000 years. This is the golden hour that never ends. The eternal sunset where the architect of destiny sits with you, not as a judge, but as a father, a guardian, and an architect who is finally handing you the blueprints to your own joy. Can you feel that hollow, aching space behind your ribs beginning to fill with warmth? That space was where the exhaustion of the strong used to live. It was the seat of your weariness, the place where you stored every "I'm fine" you ever whispered when your soul was actually screaming for help. You have been the pillar for so long that your very structure has been under a divine stress test. You were the one who held the family together through the storms, the one who worked the double shifts of emotional labor for people who didn't even notice the sweat on your brow, the one who prayed for everyone else's healing while your own heart was hemorrhaging in the powder. Dark. But look at the architect's eyes. He is not asking you to be strong anymore. He is asking you to be sovereign. He is taking the weight of those people, the energy vampires who treated your kindness like a buffet and your heart like a doormat, and he is placing them in a different room of the universe, a room where they can no longer touch your light. The architect is now opening a drawer in the great ledger, and from it, he is pulling out a series of reparations decrees. Listen to the sound of the parchment unfolding. It sounds like the rustle of wings. This is the final audit of your life's sacrifices. The architect is looking at the years you spent in that glass-ceiling reality, the years where you felt like you were running a race in a suit of lead. He is counting every dollar that was stolen from you by bad investments, manipulative partners, or systemic lack. He is counting every ounce of vitality that was sucked out of you by silent saboteurs who smiled at your face while they were secretly hoping for your bankruptcy. And he is issuing a cosmic refund. This is not a maybe. This is a settlement of fate. Within the next 11 to 22 days, the Bank of Heaven is going to transfer liquidity into your life. This will manifest as a sudden provision, an unexpected source of income, a massive legal victory, or a business opportunity that arrives with the ease of a falling leaf. You have been operating in a stolen contract for 7 generations, but the golden key has shredded that contract into dust. You are now the beneficiary of the architect. But the restoration is deeper than money. It is the restoration of time. I want you to look back at the shattered hourglass one last time. Notice how the shards are melting into the floor, turning into a river of liquid light. The architect is telling you that the years you lost to grief, to depression, to waiting for someone to love you back, were not wasted. They were divine maturation years. You remember the twist I told you about? That grief as a gift revelation? Imagine the architect showing you a video of your life from last year. You see yourself weeping in that room. You see yourself staring at a phone that wouldn't ring. You see yourself losing that job or that person, and you thought it was a tragedy. But now, the architect zooms the camera out, and you see what was waiting around the corner if that door hadn't slammed shut. You see the betrayal that would have destroyed your children. You see the illness that would have taken your life. You see the energy vampire who was preparing to steal your very identity. You see my hand, massive and ancient, reaching down and heisting you away from that disaster just seconds before the explosion. Your loss was your ransom. I paid for your future with a temporary sorrow. I traded your good enough for your highest possible reality. Type 111 right now. Let it be the final stamp on your spiritual passport. You are no longer a citizen of the wilderness. You are a resident of the golden hour. By typing these digits, you are signaling to the silent saboteurs and the second-guessing spirit that their jurisdiction over your life has officially expired. They cannot follow you past this point. They are blocked by the frequency of the great. Awakening. As your thumb touches the screen, feel a divine surge traveling from the device into your fingertips, up your arms, and into your heart. This is the cellular reset. The cells of your body that have been programmed by trauma, by the exhaustion of the strong, and by the residual echoes of mocking voices. They are being recoded with the frequency of 111. Your body is becoming a temple of peace, where energy vampires cannot survive. They will find your new frequency, repulsive. They will find your new boundaries, impenetrable. And they will vanish from your orbit without you having to say a single word. I want you to listen for the 5-year echo. Do you remember that prayer? That specific thing you asked for in a whisper 5 years ago, while you were driving alone or sitting in the dark of your kitchen? You thought it was too big to ask for, and when it didn't happen, you tucked it away in the oldest sorrow drawer of your heart. The architect has pulled that prayer out. He has dusted it off, and he has polished it into a diamond. That impossible thing is currently in transit to you. It is not a coincidence that you are watching this video right now. It was a divine summoning. You were called to this hall of records to receive the golden key so you could unlock the vault where your secret dream was being held for safekeeping. The second-guessing spirit is trying to tell you that this is just wishful thinking, but look at the shattered hourglass on the floor. The time for wishing is over. The time for rhyming has begun. The atmosphere in the Hall of Records is shifting now. The light is becoming even more intense, even more golden. The architect is standing up from his desk. He is walking toward you, and he is placing his hand on your shoulder. Feel the heat of it. Feel the majesty flowing into your marrow. He is whispering into your spirit. You have been the pillar for the world. Now, let me be the architecture of your life. You have fought the battle for everyone else's peace. Now, step into the peace I have built for you. Your name is no longer strong. Your name is restored. On the count of 3, this transmission will end, and you will step back into your room, your house, your life. But nothing will be the same. 1. The glass ceiling is not just cracked, it is gone. Look up and see the stars of your true potential. 2. The golden key is permanently fused to your spirit. You are the gatekeeper of your own abundance. 3. The shift is complete. Go now, but do not look for the old version of yourself. She is gone. He is gone. There is only the sovereign you. Within 11 hours, a synchronicity will occur, a sign so specific to our conversation in this hall of records that you will have to catch your breath. When it happens, do not doubt, do not second guess. Just say thank you, architect, and walk into your golden hour. Your inheritance is waiting. Your enemies are silenced, and the architect is smiling. You are finally home. Type 111 to claim the eternal spring. Amen. Stay exactly where you are. Do not move a muscle. For the frequency between my voice and your soul has reached a point of divine synchronization. We are no longer merely communicating. We are weaving a new reality in the fabric of the Hall of Records. Look at the walls of this infinite library once more. Do you notice how the light has shifted from a warm gold to a deep, majestic violet? That is the color of the sovereign decree, the color of royalty returning to its rightful throne. You are not just a visitor in this cinematic space. You have been revealed as the owner of these records. The architect of destiny is stepping back now, bowing slightly, as he hands you the great ledger of your life. It is no longer being written by the hands of fate or circumstance. It is being written by your very presence. You have spent your entire life being the pillar. You were the one who didn't break when everyone else was falling apart. You were the one who found the money when there was none. The one who gave the advice when your own mind was a storm. The one who wiped the tears of your energy vampires while your own eyes were burning with unshed grief. You wore the exhaustion of the strong like a second skin, and you wore it so well that the world forgot you were human. They forgot that pillars need a foundation too. They took your kindness and mistook it for a bottomless well. But hear the architect's voice echoing through the arches of this hall. The well is no longer open to the ungrateful. The architect is placing a divine filter over your heart. From this moment on, the energy vampires will feel a strange, uncomfortable shiver when they try to lean on you. They will find that they can no longer suck the light out of your spirit, not because you are being mean, but because your frequency has become too high for their parasites to latch onto. You are being quarantined in glory. I want you to look back at the silent saboteurs of the inner circle, those people who were in the front row of your life, but were secretly rooting for the second-guessing spirit to win. They whispered, "Are you sure?" When you were about to leap, they brought up your past failures when you were talking about your future dreams. They were the residual echoes of every bully, every doubt, and every trauma you ever endured. Look at them now through the lens of the Hall of Records. They look small, don't they? They look like fading ghosts in the presence of the shattered hourglass. The architect is taking the golden key, and he is touching the forehead of every memory you have of them. And as he touches them, the pain is being extracted. The betrayal is being transformed into intel. You are realizing that their disloyalty was actually a divine eviction. I had to make them uncomfortable in your presence so they would leave before the Great Restoration began. I couldn't let them share in the harvest because they didn't respect the planting. Type 111 right now, and feel the weight of that number acting like an anchor, pinning your soul to this new timeline. This is not just a comment, it is a vibration seal. When you type those 3 ones, you are declaring to the second-guessing spirit that its lease on your mind has been terminated. You are declaring that you no longer believe the lie that you are too late. How can you be too late when the architect has shattered the hourglass? Time is not a straight line for you anymore. It is a circle of favor. The architect is reaching into the future pages of your ledger and pulling them into the present. That God incidence I promised you, the one involving the prayer you whispered 5 years ago, is manifesting now. It's not coming next year. It's being heisted out of the future and dropped into your lap within the next 11 days. It might be a name appearing on your phone, a check arriving in a plain envelope, or a sudden knowing that changes everything. But you will recognize it by the scent of rain and incense that will suddenly fill your room. Let's talk about the grief as a gift once more, because your heart still carries a tiny sliver of that old glass. I want you to look at the most painful door that slammed in your face last year, the one that made you scream at the ceiling, the one that made you feel like God had gone deaf. Watch as the architect pulls back the curtain on that moment. Look through the window of that closed door. Do you see what was on the other side? You see the energy vampire you thought was your soulmate, but now you see them with their mask off. You see the dream job that was actually a soul-crushing trap. You see the investment that was actually a black hole. If that door had stayed open, you would have walked into a fire that would have consumed your children's inheritance. I didn't reject you. I heisted you. I stole you away from a catastrophe you weren't equipped to survive. I let you think I was being cruel so that I could be your savior. That grief was the subscription price for your current safety. Type 111 if you finally, deeply, and truly forgive the architect for saving you in a way you didn't understand. The glass ceiling that has been capping your family's wealth for generations is now a pile of harmless sand on the floor of the Hall of Records. The architect is walking over to a massive, ancient bell at the edge of the eternity, and he is about to strike it. This is the bell of the Jubilee. When it rings, every debt you owe spiritually, emotionally, and financially is being balanced by the compound interest of your suffering. You are being moved from the survival frequency to the sovereign frequency. You will no longer wake up with that anxious vibration in your chest, that feeling that you have to hurry, that you have to prove yourself, that you have to be the pillar, or the world will end. The world will not end. The architect is the architecture. You are just the guest of honor. As we reach the final seconds of this divine transmission, I want you to feel the golden key pulsing in your hand. It is no longer just an object. It is part of your DNA now. You have the master access to the Hall of Records. You can come back here anytime you feel the second-guessing spirit trying to creep back in. Just close your eyes, breathe in the incense, and look for the light of the golden hour. You are protected. You are a favorite. You are high priority in the courts of heaven. The people who mocked you, the silent saboteurs who laughed when you fell, they are going to see you. Rise with a speed that defies the laws of physics. They will say, "It must be luck." But you will look at the 111 on your screen and know it was decree. The exhaustion of the strong is gone, replaced by the restoration of the chosen. Your body is vibrating with a new health. Your mind is sharp as a diamond, and your heart is as light as the rain that smells of the architect's garden. You are ready. You have the key. The hourglass is broken, and eternity is yours. On the count of 3, I am going to release you back into the physical world, but you are walking back as a living miracle. 1. The stolen contract is dissolved. Your lineage is free. 2. The golden key is your heartbeat. Abundance is your shadow. 3. Behold the new you. Go out and live in the golden hour. The architect is watching you with pride, and the energy vampires have no power here. It is done. It is sealed. It is your time. Type 111 to anchor the miracle. Amen. The air in the Hall of Records has reached a state of absolute stillness, a silence so profound that you can hear the flickering of the starlight in the rafters and the slow, rhythmic pulse of the golden key as it merges into your very DNA. We are standing at the absolute precipice of your new existence, the moment where the before and the after of your life finally separate forever. Look at the floor of this majestic library. Do you see the dust of the shattered hourglass? It is turned into a fine, glowing sand that is being carried away by a wind you cannot feel on your skin, but you can feel in your spirit. The exhaustion of the strong is no longer a part of you. It has been stripped away like a heavy winter coat that was soaked in lead and salt. You are standing here, in the golden hour, as light as a feather and as solid as a mountain. The architect of destiny is standing directly in front of you now. His presence is not a terrifying storm, but a warm, familiar sun. He is looking at you with a pride that makes your soul vibrate. He is reaching out his hand and touching the center of your chest, the place where the second-guessing spirit used to whisper its venom, the place where the silent saboteurs of your inner circle planted seeds of doubt and inadequacy. As his finger touches you, feel a cool, blue light expanding through your ribcage. This is the divine eraser. It is washing away every residual echo of the people who smiled at your face while they were secretly praying for your fall. It is deleting the memories of the mockery, the moments you were made to feel small for having a big dream, the times you were gaslit into believing that your grief was a punishment rather than a protection. Type 111 right now, not as a ritual, but as a sovereign command to the universe. By typing these digits, you are activating the final stage of the Great Restoration. You are telling the Hall of Records that you have accepted the grief as a gift revelation. You finally understand that the door that slammed shut on your heart last year wasn't an act of cruelty. It was an act of divine espionage. I saw the energy vampires waiting in the shadows of that relationship. I saw the bankruptcy waiting in the fine print of that dream job. I saw the disaster that was being woven into your life by the people you trusted most, and I acted. I heisted you away from the fire. I let you think you were being rejected so that you could be resurrected in this very moment. Do you see the massive archway at the end of the hall? Beyond that archway lies the world you are about to re-enter. But it is not the same world you left when you clicked on this video. In that world, the stolen contract of your family line, the generational curse of working for crumbs and carrying the world's weight, has been officially voided. The architect is handing you a pen made of pure obsidian and light, and he is asking you to sign your name at the bottom of the new decree of abundance. This is a contract that says you no longer have to be the pillar for those who refuse to stand. It says that you are allowed to be the guest of honor in your own life. It says that the compound interest of your decades of suffering is being paid out in a single, massive lump sum of favor. Listen to the frequency of 111 as it rings through the hall. It sounds like a bell that never stops vibrating. Within the next 11 hours, your physical reality will begin to glitch in your favor. You will receive a sign that the silent saboteurs have lost their access to your timeline. Perhaps a person who has been a source of stress will suddenly announce they are moving away. Perhaps a conflict that has been dragging on for years will suddenly resolve itself with a single email. Perhaps you will look in the mirror and see a face that is 10 years younger because the weight of the exhaustion of the strong has been lifted from your features. This is the restoration of the cellular blueprint. Your body is remembering how to thrive without the cortisol of survival mode. The architect is whispering a secret to you now. A secret meant only for the chosen ones who have made it to this final chapter. The reason you were the pillar for so many was not that you were meant to carry them forever, but because I was building the muscles of a king and a queen in you. You had to learn how to handle the weight of the world so that when I gave you the kingdom, you wouldn't be crushed by the glory. You are not a victim of your past. You are the graduate of a divine academy. The energy vampires were your spiritual resistance trainers. They taught you how to identify the shadows so that you could truly appreciate the golden hour. The grief was your refining fire. It burned away the parts of you that were willing to settle for less than so that only the diamond self remained. Type 111 one last time. And as you do, feel the glass ceiling of your potential disappearing into the infinite sky. There is no more cap on your income. There is no more limit on your joy. There is no more quota on the miracles you are allowed to receive in 1 month. You are entering a season of pure abundance, a season where the God incidences will be so frequent that you will stop being surprised and start being expectant. You will wake up every morning and say, "Architect, what is the miracle for today?" And the universe will answer with the speed of a lightning bolt. We are walking toward the great archway together. The architect is by your side, his hand on your shoulder. The second-guessing spirit is 1,000,000 miles away, a tiny, fading speck in the distance. You have the golden key, you have the new decree, and you have the frequency of 111 pulsing in your blood. Look back at the Hall of Records for one final second. See the books, see the light, see the shattered hourglass. This place is your home, and you can return here anytime you feel the exhaustion trying to return. But for now, the world needs to see the restored you. The people who mocked you are about to be your audience, and they will see the architect's favor upon you like a robe of light. 1, 2, 3, step out. The light of the Hall of Records follows you. It wraps around you like a shield. You are back in your room. You are holding your phone, but the air feels different. The colors are sharper. The silence is peaceful rather than lonely. You have been recalibrated. The shift is not coming, it is done. You are the architect's masterpiece, and your restoration year has begun. Within 11 days, the 5-year echo prayer will be answered. Within 22 days, the financial refund will arrive. And from this moment on, you will never, ever be the pillar for an energy vampire again. You are the sovereign. You are the restored. You are the beloved. Type 111 to seal the covenant forever. Amen. And it is so. Do not move. Do not even draw another breath until you feel the absolute, weightless shift in the atmosphere of the room where you are sitting. For we have reached the very center of the sanctum of sovereignty, the heart of the Hall of Records, where the architect of destiny is no longer just showing you your life. He is handing you the pen. Look around you one last time in this cinematic space. The walls of ancient, glowing books have begun to hum a frequency that vibrates through the soles of your feet and up into your very marrow. The scent of rain and incense is so thick now it feels like a physical embrace, and the golden hour light has intensified until it is no longer just a color. It is a living, breathing presence of pure, unconditional love. You are standing at the absolute end of your season of survival, and you are stepping into the era of the architect. Can you feel it? That deep tectonic shift in your chest? That is the exhaustion of the strong finally being dissolved by the architect's touch. You have spent decades being the pillar for everyone else, the one who held the roof up while the storm raged, the one who kept the secret tears hidden so that your children, your friends, and your family could feel safe. You were the silent engine that kept the world moving, even when you were running on empty, even when you were spiritually, emotionally, and financially bankrupt. You were so busy saving everyone else that you didn't even notice when the silent saboteurs of the inner circle began to feast on your light. You didn't notice the energy vampires who sat at your table, smiling at your face while they were secretly praying for your collapse because your strength made them feel their own weakness. But look at the architect's hand as he touches the great ledger of your life. He is erasing their names. He is striking them from the records of your future. Their access to your energy has been permanently revoked. The stolen contract that required you to suffer so that others could thrive has been burned to ash right before your eyes. Listen to the sound of the shattered hourglass on the floor. Those millions of diamond dust shards are being swept away into the infinite void. The architect is telling you that the second-guessing spirit, that cold, whispering ghost that lived in the back of your mind, is dead. It can no longer tell you that you are too late. It can no longer tell you that you missed your window. How can you be late when the architect has destroyed the concept of time as a prison? You are not aging. You are evolving. You are not losing time. You are accumulating favor. Every year that was stolen by the energy vampires, every month that was wasted in the grief as a gift season, every hour you spent crying in the dark wondering why you weren't enough, it is all being returned to you today, and it is coming back with divine compound interest. The architect is calculating the refund of the soul, and the payout is so massive that it will take you the rest of your life just to spend the joy of it. Type 111 right now, and as you type it, feel the golden key in your palm becoming white-hot with power. This is the absolute new beginning. This is the frequency of the Great Awakening. By typing these digits, you are not just commenting. You are signing the covenant of restoration. You are declaring to the spiritual realm that you have recognized the stealth heist of the divine. You finally see that the most painful door that slammed in your face last year was not an act of rejection. It was an act of absolute salvation. The architect saw the fire in Eder, that room. He saw the betrayal that was being sharpened behind that person's smile. He saw the disaster you couldn't see, and he stole you away from it in the middle of the night. You thought you were losing your dream, but I was actually saving your life. You were heisted out of a catastrophe so that I could bring you here, to this hall of records, to this moment of pure, unadulterated sovereignty. Do you feel the liquid gold of this atmosphere beginning to saturate your skin? It is healing the cellular memory of every mockery, every betrayal, and every moment you were made to feel less than. Your bank account is no longer a source of anxiety. It is being recalibrated as a reservoir of ministry. The financial glass ceiling that capped your family's potential for 7 generations has been shattered into a billion harmless sparks. You are being moved from the waiting room to the throne room. You will no longer have to beg for crumbs of affection or recognition from people who are not equipped to see your glory. The architect is placing a royal robe of silence around you, and the energy vampires will find that when they try to speak your name, their voices fail. When they try to drain your spirit, they will find a divine firewall that they cannot penetrate. You are now off limits to the shadows. I have a final secret to tell you. A secret that the architect has been saving for the very end of this transmission. Within the next 11 days, look for a sign of the impossible. A God incident so specific to a prayer you whispered 5 years ago that it will make you fall to your knees in gratitude. It might be a phone call from someone you thought was gone forever. It might be an unexpected deposit that matches the exact amount of a debt you've been carrying. Or it might be a sudden, overwhelming sense of peace that surpasses all understanding that descends upon your home like a warm blanket. When this sign appears, do not second-guess it. Do not let the residual echoes of your old life tell you it's just a coincidence. It is the architect's thumbprint on your reality. It is the proof that the sovereign shift is complete. The light in the Hall of Records is becoming so bright now that the walls of books are disappearing into a horizon of pure, white radiance. The architect is stepping closer to you. His presence is like the scent of rain after a century of drought. He is placing his hand on the crown of your head, and you can feel the exhaustion of the strong being pulled out through the soles of your feet. You are being filled with the vitality of the eternal. Your eyes will see opportunities where others see obstacles. Your hands will create beauty where others see chaos. And your heart will be a sanctuary where energy vampires are transformed or expelled by the sheer power of your light. You are the architect's masterpiece. You are the one who survived the refining fire and came out as a diamond. You are the pillar who no longer has to carry the roof, for you have become the temple itself. The grief is over, the restoration has begun, and the golden hour will be your permanent residence from this moment forward. Type 111 to lock this decree into your physical reality forever. Do it with the authority of someone who knows they have already won. Do it as a final goodbye to the version of you that was tired, broken, and used. On the count of 3, this Hall of Records will dissolve, and you will find yourself back in your world. But the world will be different, and you will be different. 1. The glass ceiling is gone. Your potential is as infinite as the stars. 2. The golden key is your new heartbeat. Abundance is your natural state. 3. Walk into your glory. It is done. It is sealed. It is yours. The architect is smiling, for his child has finally come home to their power. Amen. And it is so. The Hall of Records is beginning to vibrate with a frequency so deep, so primordial, that it feels as though the very atoms of your being are being rearranged into a pattern of perfect divine geometry. This is the final layer of the sovereign recalibration. You are standing at the absolute center of the great library, and the violet light of the sovereign decree has reached its peak intensity. The air is thick with the scent of rain after a century-long drought, and the hauntingly beautiful aroma of ancient cedar and burning incense. Do not move. Stay in this stillness, for the architect of destiny is currently performing a divine extraction from your soul. He is reaching into the deepest chambers of your heart, the places where you hid the shame of being too tired and the guilt of finally wanting to say no, and he is pulling out the last remaining threads of the exhaustion of the strong. You have carried the weight of generations, haven't you? You were the one who held the roof up while the foundation was rotting. You were the one who found a way to make a feast out of crumbs while everyone else complained about the flavor. You were the pillar that didn't crack, even when the silent saboteurs of your inner circle were leaning on you with their full manipulative weight. They looked at your strength and didn't see a human being. They saw a resource. They saw an energy. Well, they could drink from until it ran dry. But look at the architect's hand. He is placing a sovereign seal over that well. The well is closed to the energy vampires, forever. From this moment on, anyone who approaches you with the intent to drain you will find themselves met with a divine repulsion. They will feel a sudden, unexplainable urge to leave your presence. Their voices will falter. Their tactics will fail, because you are no longer a source for the ungrateful. You are a sanctuary for the sacred. Look down at your feet. The dust of the shattered hourglass has settled, and it has formed a path of glittering diamond dust leading toward the horizon of your future. The architect is handing you the golden key one final time, but notice how it has changed. It is no longer just a key. It is a part of your hand. It has been absorbed into your spiritual DNA. You are now the master access point for your own destiny, the glass ceiling that capped your family's potential, That invisible barrier of barely enough and perpetual struggle is not just broken. It has been turned into the very stars you will now walk upon. You are no longer living under the ceiling. You are reigning above it. Type 111 right now. And as you do, feel the weight of that number acting as a signature of light on the new contract of your life. This is the absolute new beginning. The moment where the second-guessing spirit is officially banned from your mind. That cold, whispering ghost that used to wake you up at night, telling you that your best days were behind you, telling you that you were too late to start over, telling you that your grief was a sign of failure. Look at that ghost in the violet light of this hall. See how it shrivels and disappears. The architect has declared that time is no longer a straight line leading toward decay. For you, time is a circle of restoration. Every year that was stolen by the energy vampires. Every decade you spent being the pillar for people who didn't love you. It is all being returned to you today. With compound interest. You are being granted a divine refund of your youth, your energy, and your joy. Listen to the sound of the great ledger closing. Thud. The sound echoes through the hall of records like the closing of a tomb on your old life. The record of the strong is closed. The record of the sovereign is now open. Under this new record, your bank account is no longer a reflection of your labor. It is a reflection of your divine inheritance. Money will begin to move toward you from directions you haven't even looked in yet. You will receive a 5-year echo answer, a miracle so specific to a prayer you whispered half a decade ago that it will leave you breathless. The architect didn't forget. He was just waiting until the silent saboteurs were out of the room so they couldn't steal the credit for the blessing. Now, I want you to look at the grief as a gift revelation one last time. That door of disaster that slammed shut in your face last year. I want you to see it through the architect's eyes. You see yourself standing in front of that door, weeping, begging for it to open. But look through the wood. Look at what was on the other side. You see the betrayal that would have shattered your spirit. You see the illness that would have taken your life. You see the energy vampire who was waiting to steal your very name. I didn't reject you. I heisted you. I reached down into the timeline, and I snatched you out of the fire just as the roof was about to collapse. I let you think I was being cruel so that I could be your savior. Your loss was your ransom, and the price has been paid in full. You are free. Do you feel the sovereign warmth spreading from your heart into your limbs? That is the restoration of the cellular blueprint. Your body is purging the cortisol of survival mode. Your mind is clearing the brain fog of chronic exhaustion. Within the next 11 days, you will receive a sign of this healing. A physical vitality you haven't felt in 20 years will surge through you. You will wake up with a holy clarity, a knowing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The people who mocked you, the ones who whispered behind your back while you were struggling, they are about to become the witnesses of your glory. They will see the architect's favor upon you like a coat of many colors, and they will not understand it, because they didn't see the silent architect working in the dark while you were weeping. The violet light is beginning to fade into a soft, eternal gold. The golden hour that will never set on your life again. The architect is standing before you, and he is placing his hand on your forehead. His touch is cool, like rain on a parched field. He is whispering into your soul. You have been the pillar for the world. Now, let me be the architecture of your soul. You have fought the good fight. Now, receive the great reward. Your name is no longer strong. Your name is chosen. Type 111 one final time. Do it with the authority of someone who has seen the Hall of Records and survived the refining fire. This is your final seal of sovereignty. As you type it, the glass ceiling vanishes, the shattered hourglass disappears, and the golden key pulses in your blood. On the count of 3, we are going to leave this cinematic space and return to the physical world. But the world will not be the same, and you will never be the same. 1, The stolen contract is dissolved. Your ancestors are cheering. 2. The golden key is your pulse. Abundance is your shadow. 3. Step into your sovereignty. The Hall of Records is gone. You are in your room. You are holding your phone. But look at your hands. They are the hands of a sovereign. Look at the clock. It is the time of the architect. The shift is not coming, it is here. Walk out into your world and show them the glow of the golden hour. The energy vampires have no power over you. The silent saboteurs are gone, and the architect is walking right beside you. It is done. It is sealed. It is yours. Type 111 to claim the great restoration. Amen. This is it. The absolute end of the old world and the incandescent beginning of the new one. Do not move. Stay in this sacred, vibrating stillness for just a few moments longer, for we have reached the very center of the sanctum of sovereignty, the highest point of the Hall of Records. Look around you one final time at these walls of light, these infinite shelves of starlight and ancient wisdom, and notice how they are beginning to ripple like water. The archway at the edge of eternity is glowing with a brilliance that would be blinding to the person you were an hour ago. But to the sovereign you, the restored you, it looks like the first sunrise of a world you have finally earned. The scent of rain and ancient incense has reached its peak, and the golden hour light has become a physical weight of love pressing against your skin, healing the last microscopic fractures in your spirit. You can feel it now, can't you? That deep, tectonic silence in the marrow of your bones. The exhaustion of the strong is no longer just fading. It is being surgically extracted from your timeline by the hands of the architect. You have been the pillar for so long that your soul forgot how to be a guest. You forgot that you were allowed to be carried. You forgot that you were allowed to be the one who receives the miracle rather than the one who manufactures it for everyone else. You were the one who held the roof up during the hurricanes of your family's lives. You were the one who stayed awake in the dark, calculating how to stretch the bread and the wine so that no one else would go hungry. You were the strong one that everyone leaned on, even as your own foundation was being eaten away by the silent saboteurs and the energy vampires who took your light and called it their own. But look at the architect standing before you. He is taking that heavy mantle of the pillar, and he is turning it into a robe of pure, effortless light. He is telling you that the work is finished. The stolen contract that required you to suffer so that others could thrive has been dissolved into a handful of gray ash on the floor of this temple. Type 111 right now, and do it with the authority of someone who has just watched the glass ceiling of their destiny shatter into a billion harmless diamonds. This is your final signature, your seal of the sovereign. As you type those 3 digits, feel the golden key that was hidden under your oldest sorrow becoming a permanent part of your spiritual DNA. You no longer need to look for the key. You are the key. Every door you approach from this moment forward will open simply because you have arrived. The second-guessing spirit that once lived in the back of your mind, the voice that whispered you were too late or not enough, has been permanently evicted from this frequency. It cannot survive in the oxygen of the Hall of Records. It has withered away into a residual echo of a version of you that no longer exists. I want you to look back at the grief as a gift one last time before we leave this cinematic space. Look at that most bitter loss from last year. The betrayal that left you gasping for air. The door that slammed so hard it shook your very faith in the architect. Watch as the architect pulls back the final veil. Look through the smoke of that catastrophe. Do you see it now? You see the energy vampire who was preparing to steal your legacy. You see the disaster that was waiting for you behind that dream job. You see the fire that was about to consume the room you were in. I didn't reject you. I heisted you. I reached down into the timeline, and I snatched you out of the burning building just as the roof was collapsing. I let you think I was being cruel so that I could be your savior. I let you weep for the loss of a prison because I was leading you to a palace. Your loss was your ransom, and it has been paid in full. You are free, you are safe, and you are home. Listen to the 5-year echo prayer. The one you whispered into the dark half a decade ago. The one you thought I had ignored. It is being released from the vault of maturation right now. Within the next 11 days, you will see the physical manifestation of that prayer. It will arrive with a synchronicity so sharp and so clear that it will stop your heart for a beat. You will know, beyond a shadow of any doubt, that the architect has never once taken his eyes off you. This is your reparation. The compound interest of your decades of being the pillar. The financial stagnation that has capped your family line for 7 generations is over. The glass ceiling of just enough has been replaced by the open sky of more than enough. You will find that money no longer moves away from you. It moves toward you, seeking the sanctuary of your hands. Feel the heat of the 111 frequency rising in your chest. It is the heat of a new sun rising on your life. The energy vampires and the silent saboteurs who once fed on your light are finding themselves blinded by your new glow. They are being moved out of your orbit with a divine repulsion. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to confront them. You simply have to exist in your new frequency, and they will vanish like shadows when the light is turned on. They cannot follow you through the great archway. They belong to the world of Chronos, of decay and survival. But you belong to the world of Kairos, of the eternal spring and the golden hour. The architect is stepping back now. The great ledger of your life is closed, and your name is written on the cover in a script made of living fire. You are no longer a character in a story written by your past. You are the author of a story written by your future. The shattered hourglass on the floor is being swept away by the wind of the spirit. You are no longer a slave to time. You are a master of moments. Everything you touch from this point on will carry the Midas touch of the architect's favor. Your health will reflect the cellular restoration of this hall. Your relationships will reflect the unconditional love of this sanctuary. And your heart will reflect the majesty of the divine. On the count of 3, we are going to step through the great archway and return to the physical world. But the world you are entering is not the world you left. It has been recalibrated to match the frequency of your 111 awakening. 1. Feel the exhaustion of the strong leaving your body for the absolute last time. You are a child of the architect, and you are cherished. 2. Feel the golden key turning in the heart of your destiny. The shift is tectonic. The restoration is total. 3. Step into your sovereignty. The Hall of Records is dissolving into a golden mist. You are back in your physical space. You can feel the device in your hand. You can hear the sounds of your room. But look at the air. Do you see the golden hour glow that remains? Look at your hands. Do you see the sovereign strength that has replaced the exhaustion? The shift is done. The stolen contract is void. The grief as a gift is realized. And the great restoration has begun. Within 22 hours, you will receive the first sign. Within 11 days, you will receive the 5-year echo. And within 33 days, you will no longer recognize the person you were when you started this journey. You are the architect's masterpiece. You are the sovereign of the 111, and the world is about to watch you bloom in a way that defies the laws of nature. Type 111 to anchor this reality into the earth. It is done. It is sealed. It is yours. Amen. And it is so.